News Nation's Marcus Espinoza has the details. And Marcus, California not backing down from this fight.
Marky, good morning. The drama, right? The spectacle, not just in Texas, but now nationwide across the country as this redistricting, excuse me, still early, need some more coffee here, is still going on. A lot of states getting involved in this fight here as we try to figure out what exactly the states are going to do. So this is now turned its attention to California. California Governor Gavin Newsom is going to head to head with President Trump and Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Newsom announcing yesterday that if Texas moves forward with redistricting and potentially losing 5 Democratic House seats, his state will follow suit and attempt to turn 5 of the 9 Republican seats in California blue. You can already see they have a massive majority to begin with right now. Newsom wants to hold a special election on November 4th and is asking voters to let the Democratic majority-run state and temporarily redistrict California's House seats. Right now, the state has an independent redistricting commission, something a majority of Californians are supportive of and keeping in place, according to a recent poll. Typically, congressional maps are redone after a census every 10 years by the committee. Newsom said this move to redistrict would be temporary, only being used for 2026, 2028, and 2030, and vows that it's going to go back to the commission after the 2030 census.
We're doing this in reaction to a president of the United States that called a sitting governor of the state of Texas and said, find me 5 seats. We're doing it in reaction to that act. We can't stand back and watch this democracy disappear district by district all across this country.
And so while the governor was holding his rally yesterday, there were also ICE agents that showed up outside that building there. Our Nancy Liu was reporting on that as well. She also confirmed at least 1 arrest there. So a lot of drama right now in California. This fight, not just in Texas, reaching nationwide. Other states could also adopt a similar plan here, Marky. So we are keeping a very close eye on this.
Yeah, we've been talking about all these other states who are kind of waiting to see how this plays out in Texas. So it's not just California thinking of doing this. Any idea what other states are watching and could do the same?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a few other states that are considering this, including in the Midwest there, but it's going to come down to a few things. So there are several states, most of which are super majorities. That could include Florida, Illinois, as well as some others there that are trying to kick around this idea, right? Republicans want to make sure Trump can get this agenda passed during the second half of his term. Democrats want to control the House after the midterms, and most are saying if the other party does this, they are going to follow suit. California, not the only one. Florida, Illinois, Missouri are some of the states where government is thinking about changing their districts by law. Ohio must redraw its congressional map this year.
I think it's because in a state like Florida, because they do have a supermajority, they will do everything they plausibly can to try to gerrymander the state so that more Republicans represent congressional districts in Florida. Contrary-wise, in the state of Illinois, they want to do the exact same thing. Illinois is a very Democratic state. They want to get rid of those few Republicans who currently represent congressional districts in Illinois. So this really is a snowball effect. I think in Missouri, you might see the exact same thing.
So, Marky, Governor Newsom says they will only follow through with this if Texas follows through. And then if they don't, then California will not. So we'll see if this is a bit of a cat and mouse game right now and see if Texas follows through, which all indications are they will. And then we'll see what happens in California in November and whether or not voters there even agree with the governor.
Yeah, we will wait and see. Marcus Espinoza, thank you so much. And to your earlier point, yes, there's never enough coffee.